Hi. For street photography I prefer to use rangefinder cameras. The most popular ones are the Leica M systems and Voigtländer Bessa. In my opinion, rangefinder cameras are an excellent choice for street photographers because they are very quiet. In contrast to SLR cameras, no mirror flips up when you release the shutter. And also because you are able to manually focus very fast. In addition, the technology allows a smaller camera body with which you can move a little bit more discreet in the city. With this video I try to find a model for every price range. Unfortunately, the prices for such cameras change very fast, and of course I don't know how they will develop in the coming years. So please bear with me if the prices I list today in September 2022 may not be quite right in the future. I list the prices in euros, but since the conversion factor at the moment is almost 1:1, you can assume that the same prices apply to dollars. But before we start with the video, please like and subscribe to my channel. It helps me a lot to be able to keep making videos. And if you are a returning subscriber, thank you very much. I'm really happy that the community here is growing and I meet so many interesting people. We will start with the under 200 euro price range. Olympus XA. I'm a big fan of the Olympus XA series. The Olympus XA is a pretty impressive camera, even compared to current digital cameras. Or do you know of a small camera that's about the size of the palm of your hand, with a full-frame sensor and a 35mm f2.8 fixed lens? The most popular model in the lineup is the XA. You focus with it using a rangefinder, and the 28mm lens is a bit faster than the XA2s with an open aperture of 3.5. The XA2 also has a 3-zone focus instead of a real rangefinder, but I also think the XA2 is an excellent travel camera. Therefore, buy one before some Kardashian strikes and the camera is no longer available under 1000 euros. Let's continue with cameras under 300 euros. Canonet QL17 G-III. In the 1970s, rangefinder cameras were quite popular because it was the best way to build compact cameras. You can also think of them a bit as precursors of point-and-shoot cameras. The major camera manufacturers all had a corresponding model on offer. One of them is the Canonet QL17 G-III. The heart of the camera is the 40mm f1.7 lens, which is very sharp and quite fast. Thanks to its compact form factor, the camera is an ideal companion for everyday use. Minolta Hi-Matic-7s II. About the same is true for the Minolta Hi-Matic-7s II as for the Canonet. The Minolta is slightly smaller than the Canonet and the viewfinder is also slightly smaller. The lens produces similar nice images to the Canonet, and in a search I would include both cameras equally. Cameras under 1000 euro. Konica Hexar AF. We are talking about the 1000 euro limit here, so the range in which you can get a Leica if you have a lot of patience and a little bit of luck. Besides, the Hexar AF, as the name suggests, is not a real rangefinder camera but works with an autofocus. But you get with this camera a first-class fixed lens, which is considered by many photographers as an alternative to the Leica Summicron 35. For a long time, the Konica Hexar was considered an insider's tip among street photographers because it combines all the features you need, plus it has incredibly good optics. The Hexar AF also has a silent mode, which ensures that the film is transported more slowly. The shutter is quieter and the autofocus works a bit slower but quieter. In silent mode and also in normal mode, you can hardly hear the camera in everyday use. The fixed 35mm f2 lens of the Hexar AF has incredibly good imaging performance, and I personally like it a bit better than modern-day Leica Summicron. The Konica Hexar AF has a lot in common with the digital Fujifilm X100, maybe that's why I have so much sympathy for this camera. The concept is just right for my purposes and I hope I can get one in the near future. Cameras above 1000 euros. Voigtländer Bessa R2. The Voigtländer Bessa R was introduced in the year 2000. Its successor Bessa R2 in 2002. Since both cameras are close in price and the Bessa R2 is a bit better and more robustly built, I tend to focus on the Bessa R2 here. But if you find a good offer for a Bessa R, it can be absolutely worth it. First of all, I think it's a small advantage that the cameras are not 50 years old but only 20, because many components, especially circuit boards, can rot with time, and some of the cameras work with old batteries. There are workarounds for everything, but if you buy a Bessa R, you can be lucky to buy it from its first owner, and you can judge it if it has been treated well. The Bessa R2, unlike the Bessa R, has a modern-day Leica M mount. The Bessa R has an M39 screw mount, but you can easily adapt most lenses between M39 and M mount. In terms of features, the Bessa R2 is comparable to a Leica M6 TTL, but much cheaper than the aforementioned Leica. You can get the top models Bessa R2A and R2M for about 1,500 euros, but remember that there's no lens included. Zeiss Ikon ZM. The Zeiss Ikon ZM came out in 2005. If you ask me, it's the most beautiful of all rangefinder cameras. The Zeiss Ikon ZM also takes Leica M mount lenses. The rangefinder is very clear, bright and big enough. The camera also has an aperture priority mode, and to compensate for the parallax error, the frame lines in the rangefinder move. How cool is that? The Zeiss Ikon ZM is comparable and even slightly better equipped than a Leica M7. Keeping that in mind, the price of about 2,400 euros is quite reasonable. Also, did I mention that I think the Zeiss Ikon ZM is one of the most beautiful rangefinder cameras in this list? Leica M4-P. What's a rangefinder listing without Leica? The Leica M4-P has long been an unloved camera because it was manufactured by Leica in Canada, but it's largely identical in construction to the Leica M6. However, the Leica M4-P lacks a light meter. Since I shoot almost exclusively street with the camera, I don't mind and I use the Sunny 16 rule. Like all other Leicas, the M4-P fits perfectly in the hand and it's very quiet and all functions are in the right place. Unfortunately, as with all Leica cameras, prices have skyrocketed and you can now get them starting at 1,700 euros. The silver models are hunted by collectors, therefore these cost more than 3,000 euros. There you go. That was my list of rangefinder cameras that are still somewhat affordable or at least reasonably priced in 2022 and that have not yet died the Contax or M6 death. My personal highlight is the Konica Hexar AF because the concept of the camera is similar to my X100 and I just love these kind of cameras. If you find this video in 2 years and the prices are 6 times higher or half the price, have mercy on me. I shot this video in September 2022. Researching for this video was huge fun and further fed my gear acquisition syndrome. I don't know where this is going to stop. I hope you had fun watching this video. See you next time.